Rivalries and competition between Formula One drivers are always a focal point in any season, and it's one of the things that makes the sport so entertaining. But before analyzing head-to-heads of drivers versus other teams, it's usually your teammate that you are measured up against first. With the same machinery, the best judgment of the performance of a driver, and maybe the car as well, is how the inter-team battle is playing out. With 6 new driver lineups in 2023, we have plenty of interesting head-to-heads to look at, and some that may surprise you. In today's video, we're going to break down all the drivers who dominated their teammates this season, and also have a glance at some of the closest driver pairings in 2023. Before we go any further, a quick thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. We are less than 500 subscribers away from 10,000, so with your help, let's keep pushing to reach that milestone soon. If you are not fighting for a championship or race victories, the best that you can hope for is to consistently outperform the driver in the same car as you. On the flip side, the worst thing for a Formula One driver is to be totally outclassed by your teammate, and unfortunately for some in 2023, they were dominated by the other side of the garage. Let's break down the 3 teammate pairings with the largest gap between them. Starting at Red Bull, this doesn't come as much of a surprise considering the historic season of Max Verstappen. The 3-time champion outraced Sergio Perez 20-2 and also outqualified him by the same margin. Verstappen scored 67% of the team's points, and Perez's inability to match his teammate led to the largest points gap between P1 and P2 in the championship ever, with a margin of 290 points. The next inter-team domination comes at Williams, and this pairing statistically has the largest gap between them. In his rookie season, Logan Sargeant was unable to match Alex Albon in any category. He got outraced 19-2, and Albon swept the qualifying head-to-head. This was the first time a driver has outqualified his teammate at every race in the season since Max Verstappen did it to, you guessed it, Alex Albon in 2020. Albon was brilliant in 2023, scoring points on 7 occasions, which led to Williams securing 7th in the Constructors' Championship, their best result since 2017. Albon was responsible for 96% of Williams' points this year, and it was a tough rookie campaign for Sargeant, with 7 DNFs and only 1 point scored, which came thanks to a penalty promotion in Austin. The final dominant teammate pairing of 2023 happened at Aston Martin. Another new driver lineup for this season, Lance Stroll welcomed another world champion to the team, and it was a rough year for the Canadian. Alonso outraced Stroll 17-3 and outqualified him 19-3. Alonso's stellar debut at Aston Martin was one of the biggest stories of 2023. With 8 podiums, a fastest lap, he secured 4th for himself in the Drivers' Championship with 206 points. Alonso scored 74% of the team's points, and he also appeared in Q3 20 times versus Stroll's 8. So now that you've seen the most dominant teammate matchups of 2023, let's look at some of the closest pairings of this season. F1's 2023 teammate battles don't get much closer than at Ferrari. Carlos Sainz made a good step forward in this season, and the head-to-head in races is even at 11. Leclerc's advantage in qualifying is still evident, as he won the battle 15-7, along with 5 pole positions. But Sainz was close all year long. He scored 2 poles himself, 3 podiums, and has the distinction of being responsible for ruining Red Bull's perfect season. Leclerc finished ahead in the championship, but the points gap between the two was only 6 points. Next up is the battle at Alpine, between new pairing Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly. It's Ocon who takes the race head-to-head at 10-9, but it's actually Gasly who outqualified Ocon 14-8 on the year. They each managed a podium finish, and the points gap between them at the end of the season was only 4. The all-French pairing had some heated moments on track this season, but Gasly's first year at Alpine was a success considering he finished ahead of his teammate in the championship. And finally, we have the battle at Haas F1. With Hülkenberg returning to Formula 1, he impressed everyone with how quickly he was up to speed. He outraced Magnussen 12-9 and also outqualified him by a margin of 15-7. Hülkenberg scored 75% of Haas's points in 2023 and had a best finish of P7. K-Mag managed to get their best qualifying result of the year with a P4, but he was only able to secure 3 points on the entire year. Before we end the video, let's look at the rest of the teammate head-to-head numbers and how they break down. At McLaren, despite Piastri's impressive rookie season, Norris outraced him 17-5 and outqualified the Australian by a margin of 15-7. At Mercedes, it was Lewis Hamilton who had the upper hand in 2023. Despite an even result in qualifying, the 7-time champion outraced Russell 15-7 and scored 59 more points on the year. The battle at Alfa Romeo was close as well in 2023. Bottas won that head-to-head in both categories. And finally, you had AlphaTauri, in a season in which featured 4 drivers for the team. Focusing on just Ricciardo, Yuki Tsunoda outqualified and outraced Danny Ric by a margin of 4-3. So that's all the teammate head-to-heads for 2023. With no new drivers on the grid for next season, will we see different results from these teammate pairings? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below.